everyone, and welcome to another edition of Hardcore Challenge Live. I am the commish, Ben Klein, and this is our wild card matchup breakdown edition. We are going to have, at least I hope we are going to have, minus no bumps in the road, we're planning on having all four of the owners on tonight that are competing in this week's matchups. You look at the lines on all four of these; they are all very close. They, looks like you could put any one of these teams in a matchup with one of the other four, and it would be a good game. This round to the playoffs should be very, very interesting. So we come into week one of the playoffs with two huge wild card matchups. Both games feature a former league champ against an owner who has never won a playoff game. Do we go with proven history, or do we go with the new blood? We are going to break down both matchups and talk to all four owners tonight, so stay tuned as we have a full show for you this evening. Probably the biggest show that we've had to date. So, let's get to the breakdown of the matchup between the Elite East Division defending league champ, Bison Broncos, against the number one wildcard team, They See Me Rawlins, who was one of the hottest teams through a good portion of the season. Joe had it clicking at was holding down the number one spot. Him and Tom were fighting back and forth. Now, if you look at these two teams historically in the postseason, you have a defending league champ with 2 Super Bowl appearances in Bison Broncos facing off against a team in They See Me Rawlins with only 1 playoff appearance and no playoff wins. You would have to go with the advantage to Bison. With that being said, you would think, but looking closer. First thing you have to look at in this matchup is the quarterbacks. You've got Bison Broncos rolling with Brock Osweiler and a quarterback that They See Me Rawlins had earlier in the season. They See Me Rawlins had made a move. He's rolling with Russell Wilson. Russell Wilson has the Rams at home. Good matchup. You've got, however, you got Osweiler playing the Jags. That's a pretty good matchup too, because anybody's a good matchup against the Jags. Hell, I'm a good matchup at quarterback against the Jags. But Russell Wilson at home, man, Russell Wilson looks so bad at Green Bay. I just don't see him looking that bad 2 weeks in a row, especially against the Rams in Seattle. So I'm leaning towards Russell Wilson, actually, for the advantage there. Now, running backs, you've got Rawlins with Mark Ingram and his namesake, Rawls. You also have got Bison Broncos with Jonathan Stewart and Jordan Howard. Howard has been big. Stewart has as well. I think they will be this week. I give the big advantage at running back to Bison Broncos. Now, wide receiver, you've got Golden Tate and Devontae Adams for Rawls, going against Brandon Marshall and Mike Evans, who have been 2 of the big guys for Bison Broncos. I feel those 2 are going to be big again this week. Although I do feel Devontae Adams is going to put up some points against the Bears. I think it's going to happen. It's the Bears, man. Sorry, Ben, but the Bears are rough this year. So at the flex, you got Rawlins with Jason Witten going against Will Tye for the Giants and Bison Broncos. So obviously that's a big advantage for They See Me Rawlin. Big advantage there. Now, when you're looking at their flex players, you've got Bellamy at wide receiver for They See Me Rawlins and Thielen, the wide receiver for the Vikings for Bison Broncos. I don't see a huge advantage there. I honestly think it may probably Thielen. Bellamy's, he's a wide receiver for the Bears. I'm sorry, but he's not, he's a wide receiver for the Bears. He's not going to put up big stats. Now, at kicker, you got Tucker and Prater, 2 of the better kickers in the league, so this could really go either way. And then you've got the Eagles defense at Baltimore for They See Me Rawlins, and the Steelers defense at Cincinnati for Bison Broncos, who I feel is an edge in that category. Now, looking at the individual defensive players, the thing that jumps out to me the most is the splash players that They See Me Rawlins has on defense. I've seen these players swing games for him this season with the combination of Cam Chancellor, Justin Houston, Wake, and Von Miller. I've seen this defense win probably 3 games by themselves for They See Me Rawlins this season. So they have swung games, and I think they could possibly swing one in the playoffs as well. So we'll see. We'll see. That's my quick breakdown of that matchup. Looking over what we've got on both sides of the ball there. So let's go to the phone. On the phone here, we've got our first guest tonight. We've got Mr. Kent Schmidt, who is the defending league champion. He's also the defending 2-time back-to-back now Elite East division champion. And how are we doing tonight, Kent?
I'm doing pretty well. How are you doing, Ben?
Not too bad, not too bad. So, you battled a lot of adversity this season to get back to defend your championship and claim another division crown. How do you feel about the overall strength of your team coming into the postseason?
I feel pretty good. I went on a pretty good winning streak to get into the playoffs, although I lost last game, but I felt pretty good getting into the playoffs. Started off 2-5, so I came back from that bad start. Pretty good.
Absolutely. What do you feel is your biggest weakness you'll have to battle in the playoffs on your roster that you have going forward?
It's probably the quarterback position, to be quite honest. I got 3 guys on my roster right now, and I'm wavering which one to start. I know you mentioned Osweiler. I got Flacco, and I got Wentz.
Yeah.
I had to go with Wentz. He's my NDSU Bison draft pick, so he's not been so great lately. So I might go with Flacco. He's been kind of hot the last couple weeks, so he might be the guy at the start this week.
Yeah, that's a tough decision. You get 3, because Osweiler's not a terrible matchup. You know, he is playing the Jags, so
yeah.
Yeah, that's a tough call.
I'll probably waver down to the last minute to who I'm going to pick.
Absolutely. So you're facing off against They See Me Rawlins this week. They're one of the hottest teams this year. How do you think you match up against them, and what do you see as their biggest threat on their team that worries you coming into this game?
I know they're coming in with 10 wins. It's a strong season. Probably the biggest thing I see on their team is I don't know. Russell Wilson's probably that kind of guy that comes up and down. This is probably his chance to go up this week, so he's probably my biggest threat on his team this week.
I think so too, because he's got to be mad after the game last week. He's coming home. I think he could have a big game. I think he could have a big game too. So, what's your prediction for the final outcome of the game? Obviously, I would assume you would predict yourself. Do you think it's going to be a close game?
I think I'll pull out a squeaker. Might be under 10-point win, I'm guessing, but I think I'm going to pull it out. I got the experience. I'm the defending champion. I know how to win these type of games. So
this is true. Do you have any last words you would like to say to your opponent, Joe Dedinsky, owner of They See Me Rawlins? Any of the other owners in the league? Maybe your next opponent, Tom, that you would face if you beat Joe?
I'll take any challengers. Hey, you got to take the crown for me. So sit in my living room. So until it's taken away from me, that's where it's going to sit.
This is true. It's awesome to have the defending champ back in again, so that it'd be cool to have a 2-time back-to-back champ. But we'll see. We got three that have won it before and 3 that haven't won it before. So it's going to be, we'll see. It's going to be an interesting playoffs. Well, thank you, Kent. Thanks for taking some time and joining us tonight. So there we got a little insight from Kent on what he's thinking going into the playoffs. And we're going to take a second and we're going to give one of the other owners here a call. Hello, Joe.
Hey, Ben.
Hey, on the phone here we got Joe Dedinsky, owner of They See Me Rawlin. We just got off the phone with your opponent, Kent Schmidt, owner of Bison Broncos. So how are we doing this evening, Joe?
Good. Busy at work.
All right. I'm glad you could take a minute for us. So you have one of the hottest teams all season. You slipped a little coming down the stretch. How do you feel about the overall strength of your team heading into the playoffs?
I'm feeling, I guess, pretty good and a little concerned at the same time. I got a little bit of, 50-50 here. I'm hoping to win this game and possibly make it to the next round. But you never know.
No, you never know. It's fantasy football. You got some good matchups. I think Russell Wilson's going to be big for you. He's coming back home pissed off. I think he's going to put up some big numbers. I think you might do all right. So who are you looking to be your big gun this week and lead you to victory? Who's going to be the round 1 MVP for They See Me Rawlins if you win?
Who's going to be my big scorer this week?
Yep.
It's going to be Devontae Adams. He's been my pickup. Oh, yeah. He's the one I picked up, and he's been hot for me.
All right. I picked him in my breakdown. I thought he might be one of your hot guys as well. So you've not made the playoffs since 2012, and you've never won a playoff game. Is this the year you get over the hump and get your first W?
I hope so. I hope I get over the hump, and I hope that we bring the cup to at least our division. I'm hoping. We're trying.
Man, there's three from the Dirty South in, and nobody from the Dirty South has ever won. So that's an interesting twist right there. It's an interesting twist right there. So, what is your prediction for the final outcome of the wild card matchup with Bison Broncos? Who will win and by how much?
I'm going to win 138 to 122.
Oh, we got numbers. 138 to 122.
That's it.
That's it. That'd be some shit. That'd be some shit if you hit that. All right. So I understand that you have an unprecedented move that you are going to make coming into the playoffs, and that you are going to change the name of your team for your playoff run. Is this correct?
That is correct. Since it's They See Me Rawlin all year, now it's going to be Lick My Rawls for the playoffs. Lick My Rawls. That's the new name. Hopefully it brings me some luck, just like I've had for most of the year.
Lick My Rawls.
That's it.
All right. You heard it here first. They See Me Rawlin has officially changed to Lick My Rawls.
Yep, you'll see it first thing in the morning.
All right, good stuff.
Good stuff.
Do you have any last words for Kent Schmidt, owner of Bison Broncos, before your wild card matchup this weekend?
Good luck. You're going down, buddy. Going down.
All right.
Taking out the defending Super Bowl champ. Just like Peyton retired, it's time for him to retire. That's it.
All right. There you go. You heard it. Thank you, Joe. All right. Now, we've heard from, you got my breakdown. We picked both the brains of the owners in the wild card game 1. Now we're going to move on to wild card game 2. We got Stinky Pinky facing off against Renegade Misfits. Looking at these two teams historically in the postseason. You have a former league champ facing off against a team in Renegade Misfits who has never made the playoffs. you would have to give the advantage to Stinky Pinky. With that being said, you would think, but let's look closer. The first thing you have to look at in this matchup is the quarterbacks. Now, looking at the quarterback position, you got on Andrew Luck for Stinky Pinky. And you got Drew Brees for Renegade Misfits. Both of these quarterbacks have been their solid go-to guy all season and been the guy that they have leaned on. So you got to think both of these could possibly go. Now you've got Andrew Luck at the Vikings, and you got Drew Brees at the Cardinals. Both are big games. Both are tough matchups. To give the advantage to one or the other, I'm going with Drew Brees at the Cardinals. Drew Brees just puts up freaking stats, folks. I mean, that's what Drew Brees does. He's a fantasy football stat machine. It's down the road stretch time. And even if the Saints lose, Drew Brees is going to be throwing that ball all over the field because that's what Drew Brees does. So I give that advantage to Renegade Misfits. Although I do believe Andrew Luck is going to do just fine for Stinky Pinky and probably get him around the 18 to 20 he's projected. I just think Drew Brees has the potential to get the 30-point game. Now, when you're looking at the running backs, I think they're both a little weak at running back. I don't see either one of them have a huge advantage. I think they're both going to have rough games at the running back positions. However, looking at the wide receivers with the combination of Antonio Brown and Moncrief, I think that's a huge 1-2 punch for Stinky Pinky, and I give them a huge advantage there. Now, when you're looking at the tight end position, you got Ebron and Greg Olson for Renegade Misfits. I think Cam's going to really lean on Greg Olson this week, so I think that's a good advantage for him. I see that Renegade Misfits having a big advantage at the tight end position. Now, at the second tight end position, though, I see the tight end Federwich, or however the hell you pronounce that name, going against the Jags as a big advantage for Stinky Pinky. At the kicker defense position, you got the Seahawks going against the Rams at home. That's a big one for Renegade Misfits. Circle that sumbitch, put a star next to it. That one's going to shed some points right there. And that's, I'm looking at that one right there as one of the keys of this game. You've got Kirksley, who Renegade Misfits picked up when I dropped him late in the season. He was one of my highest scoring defensive guys. That guy can score. That's a great waiver wire gem for Travis down the stretch right there. That's a big one. So when you're looking at that, Levante David for the Stinky Pinky. That's another one you can see some big splash plays out of on his side. So you can see some you can see a little action both ways there for when you're looking at the breakdown there. Now, on the phones, let's go to our third owner of the evening. We have Mr. Travis Zenner, owner of Renegade Misfits, who making his first appearance in the Hardcore Challenge playoffs. How are we doing this evening, Travis?
I'm doing good.
All right, you battled a lot of adversity to get to your first postseason. Congrats. How does it finally feel to make it in?
It feels good. You know, it feels really good. I've worked really hard for the last couple of years trying to build up teams, and I had a real good team, real good core of players here with a lot of misfits, like my name says, and we've come out pretty good. So I'm happy. Yeah,
it's all about being hot at the right time, man. You only got to win a couple more games, and you're there. So what do you think?
That's right.
What do you feel is your biggest weakness you're going to have to battle through the playoffs on your roster?
Well, I still think it's going to be my running backs. I've lucked out, and Martin's come back from injury, and so far is doing really good. I'm doing good with my other running back. I'm not at my computer and can't remember at it for some reason.
Henry.
From Tennessee, he's doing good considering he's backing up DeMarco Murray. So
yeah,
hopefully,
yeah, he's doing all right.
hopefully I can get in and get another one of my running backs. I got D'Angelo Williams that's coming off an injury that should be starting to come back, and then hopefully that helps.
Yeah. If you got a good defensive matchup this week for your team defense, I think that could be big for you with Seattle against the Rams at home.
Yeah.
I think that could be big, man. I think the Seahawks are going to be pissed off. Yeah. So we'll see.
They're going to be pissed after last week.
Yep. So you're facing off against Stinky Pinky, or a yearly league power. How do you think you match up against them, and what do you see as the biggest threat on their team that worries you coming into this game?
Well, I think I'm going to do pretty good against them. I know it looks like a close game on paper. They got a lot of good matchups, and I got a lot of good matchups. I think hopefully their quarterback doesn't do as good as I hope he does, coming off of the last couple of weeks. But really, they have a good team. It's just who plays better this week.
Absolutely, it's always what it comes down to. Just the matchups.
Yeah, and hopefully Breeze decides to play this week, unlike the last two.
Yeah, I think he's gonna come. I think he's gonna come around this week. I think he's gonna come around. So, what's your final prediction for the game? Give me a score.
Oh, I'm gonna say that I'm gonna come on top about 124 to 108.
124 to 108. All right. Yeah, that's about it. All you guys are kind of projected around the same score, so it's gonna be interesting.
It's gonna be interesting. I also have a possibility of getting AJ Green back this week, so I'm really looking to watch him to see if he comes out and ends up playing, and if he does, there's only better possibilities if he's playing.
Oh yeah, I seen that. So, any last words for Ben Meffley, owner of Stinky Pinky, prior to your big matchup in round 1?
Good luck, game on, and I'll see the next opponent next week.
All right. Awesome. Thank you, Travis. As always, thanks for taking some time out and hitting us up. All righty. So, we have heard from Kent Schmidt, owner of Bison Broncos. We have heard from Joe Dedinsky, owner of Lick My Rawls Now. Oh, that's freaking great. And we just heard from Travis, owner of Renegade Misfits. So, we have one owner left to talk to from the pool of 4 that are playing in the wild card round. So let's go to the phones. We have Mr. Ben Meffley, owner of Stinky Pinky. Ben, thanks for joining us tonight. How are we doing?
Doing well.
All right. So you fought with Tamaters all season. After what happened last year, how did it feel to bounce them in the final week and finally claim the division again?
You know what? Coming into the last week, I had no clue what was going to happen. I knew I needed a W, and he needed an L, and I was fortunate enough for it to work out that way. My team's been pretty much sugar or shit all year, so I don't know what team's going to show up.
Yes, this is true. I had more shit than sugar this year. So, who are you looking at to be your big gun this week and lead you to victory? Who's going to be your round 1 MVP if Stinky Pinky wins?
Well, I'm going to have to ride 2 guys hard, man. Antonio Brown, and then I need luck. I'll be honest with you. Having 2 solid quarterbacks has almost been a curse to me this year because I've been flip-flopping. I've rode luck for the majority of the time, but every time I flip-flop, it seemed to bite me in the rear. So I still haven't been 100% committed to luck, but that's what I'm rolling with right now. So I'm hoping Brown and Luck can carry me.
All right. Yeah, because you got Cousins, too. Yeah, Cousins is, man, he's a tough play sometimes, but he can put up some points, though.
Well, that's what I'm saying. It seems like the few times I've gone Cousins, Luck has outscored him and vice versa. So it's almost, I wish I had one and just didn't have to worry about that.
So what do you look at as the biggest weakness you're going to have to worry about coming into the playoffs?
my running backs have been garbage all year. I've between my auto draft situation, which I'm kind of proud of at this moment, being in the playoffs at the 3 seed.
Hell yeah.
I've worked the hell at the waiver wire. But my running back situation has been horrible all year. And I've been pretty much surviving with Band-Aids. I mean, I got 2 backup running backs as my starting RBs. But we'll see, man. I mean, I've seen crazier things happen. I've led the league in scoring and then turned around and lost my first playoff game. So that don't mean nothing to me. I'm ready.
All right. So when you're looking at your opponent's roster, they've been one of the hottest teams this year. What's the biggest concern when you're looking at your opponent's team?
Well, to be frankly honest, I haven't looked too much at his roster. I can't control his roster. His squad's gonna do what his squad does. All I can do is try to finesse mine the best I can to get the W.
Hell yeah, fair enough. All right, so what's your prediction? Do you have a score you want to put on it?
Well, like I said, my team's been sugar or shit all year, but I'm predicting some sugar this week. So let's go with 152 to 112. I'm feeling a solid W.
There we go.
W.
Now that's a prediction. There's the prediction. All right. Well, good luck, Ben. Thanks for taking a minute and joining us. I appreciate it. Ben hadn't been on with us before, so I'm glad he could jump on with us. So there you have it. We heard from all 4 of the owners battling in the wild card round. Last night we had Tom Mandick, owner of I'm Thinking Arby's. They selected Bison, Broncos, and Renegade Misfits to move on. Matt Heron, owner of Beaver Street Roar, was also on with us last night. They selected Bison, Broncos, and Stinky Pinky to move on. So now it's time for my picks. You heard my breakdowns. Both games. We heard from all 4 owners. So now it's time for my picks. What am I picking? Shit, I'm going to pick the toughest division in the damn league all season. The one that sprouted 3 playoff teams, and 2 of them are going to win the first round games. The Dirty South is going to sweep the first round of the playoffs in the Hardcore Challenge. It's been the strongest division. All 3 of those teams battled at the top, and I think they're just going to pull it out, both of them. I'm picking Travis and Renegade Misfits to knock off Stinky Pinky, get their first playoff win in their first playoff appearance, and I'm picking They See Me Rawlin to get their first playoff win and knock off the defending champ in the first round. They're both going to have tough as nails second round games, but I think the Dirty South and what the strongest the division has been all season is going to show in this first round. It's not going to mean nothing after that, but I think in this first round you're going to see the strength step forward. That's my prediction. We'll see if it holds up. So you got my predictions. You got all their predictions. You got everybody's weigh-in. See how it shakes out. If you are one of the owners, go to the league page. On the home page, bottom right-hand corner, there's a new poll. Put your vote in for who you think is going to win the cup. Vote now while there's still 6, so we can actually see who the league thinks is going to do it. There's no more prep time, folks. If you're one of the 6, tomorrow the second season starts. Thursday night football. The playoffs are here. Hardcore Challenge 2016. Are you ready for the challenge? Good luck. Game on.